Good afternoon, everybody. It is I, Non-Zero-VT. It is I who is back by unpopular demand for the second day in a row. Hi. Hi. Ah! Alright, well, we've gotten the daily cheese slap out of the system. No, I'm not going to dance. Little bit of an update, guys. We now officially have a check-in button. I just have it because sometimes it's nice just to, you know, give you the dopamine of pressing a button. So, you know, all right, and already we have Lamp popping in doing the whole streamer. Can you do this? Hey, streamer, do something funny. Hey, streamer. Hey, streamer. Excuse me. Jeez. I mean, I'm going to do entertaining stuff for you. Don't get me wrong. It's just, you know. Yeah, and you know, you don't have to be demanding about it. Streamer kidnap a high-ranking member of the government. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. For obvious reasons, I'm not doing it. Real quickly though, somebody please check and see if the check-in button's actually working. I didn't test it. Please. There we go. All right, it's working. Fantastic. Also, I finally fixed my ads. So now we should only have 3 minutes of ads every hour. So, you know, that's doing pretty good. That is genuinely probably much better and much healthier for the stream. And it should keep y'all sane, relatively speaking. I know there's no such thing as sanity in Twitch chat, but it you know, it's a nice little thing to have. You know, just as a general nicety. Punch a bait. No, I am not gonna punch a bait. What the fuck is wrong with you? Sorry, that was for my sister. All right, buddy. All right, cut that out. Today's not the day. But yeah, we're just yapping today. Don't really have anything too specific planned. Today I was originally going to be playing League. That was the original plan. Then Riot went ahead and just basically said that their anti-cheat can function like malware. And the only thing preventing them from messing with your hardware is basically a pinky promise that we promise not to do it to regular gamers. We're only doing it to cheaters. To which I say, the fact that you can disable any part of my PC bugs the hell out of me. So I spent the day getting everything Riot off of my computer, and I think I'm done with Riot Games until they off of the
Arby's. We have multiple court order lawsuits against us.
Okay.
Due to what we sell technically not qualifying as food according to the FDA.
Okay, I'm gonna have to change that TTS voice because people just keep making Arby's jokes. Like, I don't want every single person using TTS to just make an Arby's joke. It gets old real fast. Anyways, I decided that everything Riot Games needs to be off my computer. I spent like 30 minutes removing frickin' everything Riot related from my registry. That's how serious I was about this. Because any company that can outright just say, hey, we can disable certain components of your PC, that shouldn't be a company you ever trust with kernel level access to your CPU or PC. Like, I'm sorry. You shouldn't, it shouldn't ever, you should never install something like that. So I am no longer playing League, and I am no longer playing Valorant. Honestly, probably a good decision for my long-term mental health. Arby's is the joke. Yeah, but I didn't make the TTS just for you guys to make Arby's jokes. Anyways, I'll switch it to a generic TTS at some point. Mostly just because I don't want to be using Tangia for TTS. Because eventually, when I can afford it, I want to move on over to TTS Monster. Because that's just infinitely better. But that is a different subject for a different day. Real quickly, I need to shut the door to my room. Hang on. Anyways. But yeah, I am not going to be, I'm not going to be playing anything Riot anytime soon. I'm not installing League on my computer. At least not my primary one. If I'm going to play League at any point, I'm going to do a convoluted setup with one PC with nothing important on it, and just play League through that, because you can run League on a potato, to be honest. Do the multi-PC stream setup. Either way, as a cybersecurity major and somebody who studied this crap, basically what Riot has made is a logic bomb. And the fact that they as a company can get away with it without any sort of repercussion is genuinely very nasty. And it should be concerning to everybody that there is not laws on anti-cheat software preventing this. It is truly sickening. But with that being said, we're going to find something else to play. But in brighter news, I am now officially competitive game free. For the first time in over 5 years. My stream deck isn't on, so you didn't hear that. Let me fix that. But yeah, no longer do I have any competitive games whatsoever on my PC for the first time in years. Which is genuinely amazing, because honestly, if you spend as much time as I did playing competitive games, it doesn't matter how good or bad you are. It's gonna be soul crushing no matter fucking what. There's no getting around it. But I don't play competitive games anymore as of now. Don't really plan on changing that, because honestly, Marvel Rivals has gotten exhausting. Valorant became exhausting a long time ago. Even playing it with friends on rare occasion became just like soul sucking. And League kind of just, like, I have fun with League, and I have a lot of fun with it because League is genuinely a lot of fun to me. But I know that ultimately continuing to play it is just going to lead to me becoming really toxic. And I don't want to get to that point, to be completely real with you, because I'm better than that. I'm better than that, and I don't like being that toxic anymore. Plus, again, ultimately my own security concerns. I'm already getting a lot of I'm already getting a lot of concerning, what do I say? I just lost my train of thought. Point is, I just don't trust Riot anymore. I don't even trust that Vanguard's fully off of my computer. If I was capable of wiping my OS clean and starting fresh, that is exactly what I'd be doing. But because of the fact that I have a bunch of important shit on here that is too much for me to back up on anything, on like any storage device right now, I am not capable of doing that. Question, are the Druppies aerodynamic? Yes, they can fly. The wings aren't just for show. They can fly, and they're very aerodynamic. I mean, we've got a Druppy for reference right there. Yeah, you've got like the primary Druppy for that question. Also, if you can hear a bell ringing in the background, I put a bell collar on my cat. Just so I can better keep track of them. Aerodynamics doesn't mean able to fly. Well, they're able to fly. So yes, they're able to fly. If you're asking if you can launch them from a trebuchet, I mean, you can. Yeah, everybody loves my cat. Everybody loves my cat. He's a fuzzy bastard, but everybody loves him for some reason. Anyhow. But yeah. It's just frustrating how, like, we have... it just feels like, it feels like consumer privacy is a thing of the past nowadays. Because we have collectively, as a society, and I'm not kidding you when I say this, I actually heard this fucking argument when it came to the whole cheat thing. You know, people were saying, well, if you're not a cheater, what are you afraid of? It's literally the same fucking argument as if you haven't done anything wrong, you have nothing to fear. Like, we have reached that level where people are actually saying they don't give a shit about their privacy. It's fucked up. Fucked up. Trebuchet. I was thinking a ballista. You know, I get the feeling if you were to launch a Druppy from like a ballista, it's probably gonna like... It's gonna do the same level of damage as one of those rods from God. Like, if you launched... It's going to be, like, the same level of damage as if you're dropping a massive tungsten rod from orbit. I think it's going to do the same level of damage. Do any of us really have privacy anymore? No. And that should piss all of us off. But we just don't care. I mean, that should be... Genuinely, that should be something we're marching in the streets over. Because you've got flock cameras cropping up in like every single fucking major city. You have these AI data centers, which are eventually going to be used for... Okay. So, being real here, and I'm going to be very, very, very real here. I'm turning off the music. That's how important this is that I talk about this. But just recently, NVIDIA has stated that their goal is to inevitably end personal computing in favor of eventually everybody is going to be basically subscribing to a data center for their computing needs. That is their goal. Now, if you have been paying attention, you'll notice that a lot of these big AI companies have gotten massive funds from the government, massive taxpayer funds. And this is, we knew this was their goal. NVIDIA's goal, we knew this for a long time. Now they're openly admitting it. Now, I want you to think about it. Do you think that the government is going to turn down an opportunity for pretty much everybody to be forced into one single cloud computing space where the company is forced in order to report on criminal behavior? I'm just thinking about it. Everybody's been saying that these data centers, these AI data centers, are for mass surveillance, but I think they're misinterpreting how that mass surveillance is going to be handled and dealt out. This is how they're going to do it. This is how they're going to do it. I don't rarely get into topics like this, but like, considering it is directly killing the thing that is a big part of my hobby and the big reason I'm in IT in the first place is, you know, PC enthusiasm and PC building. So the fact that NVIDIA is openly admitting to it now is terrifying to me, because it means that they have it in their heads that this can't be stopped at this point, and they're going to kill personal computing to do it. You want to know why I was so scared of my PC going kaput after that storm the other day? Because if this goes, likely I'm not going to have much choice. If I'm wanted to build my computer exactly how it is right now, if I wanted to rebuild it with the exact same spec sheet, I guarantee you it's going to be almost $3,500. Meanwhile, if I wanted to have access to a terminal and have access to all that computing power, well, it's probably going to be drastically cheaper. That scares me. That's the reality I'm scared of. That's the reality we should all be scared of. Because if personal computing goes, we're fucked. It's game over. It'll be very much... Because here's the thing, the PC component market, the building your own PC, the hardware and all of that, that, in my opinion, was a last bastion of actually owning things. And now it's slowly being eroded. If this bubble doesn't pop, we're fucked. We are beyond fucked. But anyways, sorry for the doom and gloom there, guys. I know it's a very heavy topic, but Gamers Nexus is going to be doing a video about more of this in the future. We're going to react to that, and we're going to I want people to know, because the more people know, the better. The more people who are aware of how bad things are about to get if things don't change soon, the better. It ain't popping anytime soon. I don't think it is, but even if it does pop, there's going to be a point of no return. And I think we're about to cross that threshold, to be honest. I genuinely think so. If we haven't crossed that threshold already. But in any case, I'm worried. I'm worried, but I don't think it's completely hopeless yet. But we might get to a point where it does become hopeless, and it's going to end up being the new normal we're going to have to accept, either by just pure unadulterated exhaustion of fighting, or just by force. So anyways, sorry to be all doom and gloom about that. It's just been on my mind for the past couple of days. You know. And it doesn't help, you know. Okay, last doom and gloom topic. Everything just has, so, look, I'm going to be honest, all right? I think we have pendulum swung way too far into Puritanism. And the only reason it's happening is because a lot of people were publicly being degenerates without basic manners. And because of that, we have swung way too far back to overcorrect, and that has led to this whole huge puritanical bullshit from, PayPal and other companies like this. And it is how people are going to justify mass censorship as well. For first, it's going to be them going after lewd tubers. Then it's going to be all VTubers, because VTubers, why would you ever want to have privacy and LARP as an anime character? You're a degenerate. You should be morally censored. Everything just, I'm scared for the future. But that is the last of, that's where we are right now. Puritanism will always be around so long as media exists. It will be, but the difference is people want Puritanism because they don't want to see the bullshit that was happening from 2011 onwards. Because there were people genuinely acting like fucking degenerates. And listen, I'm a sex positive person. I don't really care. I'm live and let live about that stuff. But even I understand that, yeah, there were some people being fucking crazy. But Puritanism, blanket Puritanism, is not the solution. It's just going to leave us all in a state of repression, and repressed people typically end up going crazy. So that's my opinion. It's just when people act like degenerates, nobody likes it. Sorry, let me rephrase that. Degenerates without any manners. That's when nobody likes that. And the thing is, I don't think really many people understand, I think people have completely underestimated the importance of good manners in general, because so many people these days have just completely forgotten how to have basic manners. It's a long story. Anyways. All right, I need to find something that isn't a doom and gloom topic, and fast. Because otherwise I'm going to get sad. That's why I believe I should be in charge of all that. The only thing you should be in charge of is yourself, because giving you any power and authority seems like a war crime. I'd only ban actually fucked shit. I don't want any one person being in control of that. I'm going to be so honest. I don't think any one person should be in charge of what is and isn't fucked. Even if it is universally fucked, I don't think one person should be in control of that. Now, a committee of people who are psychoanalyzed and, psychologically screened for months on end. I have a plan, Arthur. I haven't even played Red Dead Redemption 2, and I know how much of that phrase is a red flag. Don't test me there, Lamp. Anyways. Oh, wait, I'm not following one of the new... Oops. Anyways, the new Mythos talents are debuting in a couple of days. I'm looking forward to that. They all seem to be really funny. They've been really funny on the timeline. And I'm looking forward to seeing their debuts. Don't forget people from this century on said panel. Yeah, fair enough. We're gonna move on from this topic though. We're getting a little too depresso for my tastes, and I'm not in the mood for that today. You know, there's a lot. Why are people eating sugar? Okay, chat. It really shocks me that people are still eating sugar-free gummy-related candies in current year. Because you know those things are just basically gonna end up being microdose laxatives. Hell, you could, because like I've seen people stupidly just stupidly deciding to eat entire bags of those frickin' sugar-free gummy worms, and what ends up happening is they spend the rest of the day shitting themselves. It's like ridiculous to me because it's just my roommate made the same mistake, and that's after I told her those horror stories. You see, it's like, why on earth would you still do it? Why would you still do it? You're gonna boil your intestines. You're gonna deep clean the entire pipeline. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that, man. And not to mention, I don't know what kind of artificial sweeteners they're using in those sugar-free gummy bears, but if those are even like partially why you end up having violent toilet-destroying shits after eating them, then why the fuck are you eating them? Like you're asking yourself for pain. Thank God I'd never do something like that. Something that dumb, I say as I stare at my newest brick of cheese. Lamp, I'm not even going to try and prevent you from eating the cheese at this point. You're just, you know what? You're a grown man. You're a grown man. If you're going to eat cheese and shit yourself to death, then you know what? That is your prerogative. That is your prerogative, and I think you're an idiot for that. I think you're stupid. I think you should probably consider seeing a psychologist if you continue to let yourself suffer like this. It's so fucking good, though. I don't care, but you know what? Good for you. Good for you. It's your choice. It's your decision. I can't stop you. I can't stop you. I'm sorry. That is your decision. Oh. My therapist refuses to see me unless I promised not to try biting him. Why are you biting people? Why are you biting people? Why? What? Why are you biting people? I don't know what that is. I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Lamp, are you sure you're not some kind of like SCP? Are you sure you're not? Are you sure you didn't escape from like some like test tube facility? Are you sure you're not some kind of weird fucked up clone? Oh, Swiss Gruyere, it's some kind of cheese. I don't really care about what the only type of cheese I like specifically is mozzarella. That's the only one I really know by name, and that's the only one I'll remember by name and taste. Everything else is just cheese. I don't really see a difference between cheeses that often. Cheese is cheese. Nothing more. I'm pretty sure I'm the most normal VTuber watcher in your community. I don't think there is such thing as a most normal VTuber watcher. I hate to break it to you, but like, we are our own subset of weird. Us VTuber fans and VTubers themselves, we're our own subset of weird. I don't think anybody is exempt from that. I think that's some copium on your part. I mean, like, I don't think there's such thing as a normal VTuber watcher. Well, at least I'm the most normal in my family. That might be true. But some family members are just gonna be fucking weird. There's no getting around it. Like, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, my family has its estranged members. Or sorry, no, not estranged. Let me just say, just fucking weird. Best way I could describe it. I'll say I've got 3 in the loony bin. Some of my family members should be in the loony bin, to be completely honest. Or at least some of them need to be serious. Some of them are just not capable of taking care of themselves on a couple of levels. And, you know, just a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, let's just say that. Anyways, I've got some family members who probably need to be hospitalized or have home health take care of them. Anyways, but yeah, I've got people in the loony bin, or people who need to be in the loony bin, if you ask me. It is what it is. Not everybody is just I don't know. I think that's an issue I'm not going to get into. I'm not going to get into it. It's just it's rough right now. But, you know. Sorry, I need more caffeine. I've got my gamer subs here. Got my gamer subs. I simply put think Sakura Splash is one of the best flavors. It tastes like Starburst. I love it. I love it. And plus, I don't know if Silvervale had any input on the like the flavor profile, but if she did, she cooked. She cooked. Oh, let's turn the music back on. Yeah, but I like I really do enjoy Silvervale. Chat, if you have the time This is gonna sound a little weird, but if you have the time, send some words of encouragement if you can to her and her mother. They're going through it really badly. If you don't know what happened, I suggest you check, because I don't think I can talk about it without feeling like it's not my place. But it is public knowledge what happened, and if you want to know what happened, please do check it out and send some kind words her way. It's truly a fucked situation. Silvervale, the soccer wolf girl, the you know, kind of has like cotton candy hair. So I'm just trying to figure out how to describe this. But yeah, some shit went down. Please give her some words of encouragement if you can. Anyways. But yeah. I have, today's just a somber day when there's like no reason to be somber whatsoever. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on today. Maybe it's just the rainy weather, kind of just putting everybody in kind of a mood. Oh no. And when it rains, it pours, I guess. A couple other people are just announcing other issues. That's really sad. The only thing I can find is something about Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, we're not gonna get into that, but that poor girl's been through a lot of bullshit. Oh no. Oh man. Man, okay. To top it all off with bad news happening, Saba, formerly Gura, is apparently dealing with some really bad health problems. That's just awful. I don't wish that on anybody. Jeez. We gotta stop doing doom and gloom posting, though, otherwise I'm gonna lose it. So, chat. Yesterday was International Goth Day. You know, I believe that I should probably have a rule in chat. I should probably have a rule in chat about if you don't like goth women, you can leave. If you don't enjoy the beauty of a goth woman, leave. Leave. I don't know. Maybe it should be a rule in chat. I don't know. I actually don't have specific chat rules. Now that I think about it, I have just kind of been going off of whether or not somebody has come into chat and has made themselves a nuisance. That's kind of how I've been doing it. I've been handling it on a case-by-case basis, and really, I should probably have some hard-line rules at some point. Remind me, you know what? I think I just need to have like a written notepad. Actually, I have some stationery. Real quick, hang on a minute. BRB, gonna hit a quick BRB. while I go find this stationery. All right, so eventually I'm gonna get like an actual like planner or something. But for now, I've got some stationery here. That way I can write down stream ideas and just keep them on my desk for when whenever I need to like remember what I want to do. So let's see. Chat rules. Plus it lets me improve my handwriting. And that's something I need to start doing again because like my handwriting has severely declined over the course of the past couple of years, and I want to be able to handwrite properly. Visigoths warned the Romans. I don't know, they seem to be, doing a lot of roaming around these days. Let me double check and make sure that actually picked up. Okay, it did. It did. It just, Man. Anyways, I just like pretty women. Sue me. I am very much the stereotypical straight guy. Sort of, I guess. I don't fucking know. Although ever since yesterday, I've been getting like a lot more dachshunds in my Instagram Reels feed. Unrelated. But there's a reason why I modeled you guys, or sorry, not modeled, because that's implying that I did anything artist-wise. This is exactly why, in my head, I had the image of wiener dogs. Because, one, dragons in some depictions are depicted as long boys. You know, dachshunds are long. And also, dachshunds are super cute. They truly are. And it made sense. And there's another reason for it. Although this last reason's unintentional, and it's just happy accident, but it's very, very wholesome. One of the many jokes my dad would make whenever he would come back from the hospital way back was he would make a joke about, well, they had to cut off more of the wiener, and he made that joke constantly. And he was in and out of the hospital a lot, so he had plenty of opportunity to do so. And I didn't realize until 2 days after my dad passed that the druppies are basically a wiener joke. And, I decided right then and there, yeah, it's going to stay that way. So their species is always going to be wiener dogs. Just for that reason. Not really, but a lot of it just I hate to, I don't know. I just did a little bit of something wholesome. Something wholesome. Oh, that explains it. Of course, I was wondering why it wasn't a cat. Yeah, so, fun fact, the Druppies joke didn't actually become a thing, or sorry, the Druppies thing was a thing long before the orange cat thing. And you know what, fuck it, we're gonna go orange cat today. Fuck it, we're going orange cat. We're orange cat today. The orange cat thing is actually a thing that only happened relatively recently, believe it or not. The orange cat jokes only happened a while back because one of my friends said that I had orange cat energy, one of my IRLs, and then, you know, I was telling a couple of people in this space, some of my friends here, that that it started happening, and next thing you know, I'm being called an orange cat. The Druppies, though, the reason the Druppies even came into existence was because the first person who started mpreg reacting me in Discord just was dog themed. And because I'm dragon themed, well, that's, you know, hence the pregnant with Druppies whole thing. Now, there's a reason why I don't publicly really talk about that last part, because the guy who was the original Mpregger, they don't watch my stream, turned out to be uber parasocial and was kind of distanced from the community. Hence why, canonically in the lore, it's more of a, it just happened like that. But the guy who was originally the original person to, quote unquote, knock up the Druppy man was dog themed, hence why we have Druppies. There's more lore to them than that. There's more lore to them, and eventually I'm gonna do like a full kind of like lore video on them. I haven't figured out how I want to produce it and what kind of jokes I want to do. But anyways, no clue what you mean by either of those things, but understood. Yeah, the original guy is just kind of parasocial and weird, and I don't really want anything of mine associated with him. That's why Chalice did the art. That's why I wanted Chalice to do the art, not... Look, there's a reason why I'm more willing to give Chalice my reference sheet than anyone else. Because honestly, that guy was kind of weird. But that is a whole other story. People are going to be parasocial no matter what. It's just what level of parasocial can you actually handle? Because ultimately, I don't care what anyone says, you're going to end up developing a parasocial relationship with your community no matter what you do. It's just, it can be either a parasocial relationship with no boundaries, which leads to so many issues, or you can have a parasocial relationship with your community that is full of boundaries. And the second people start violating those boundaries, that's when you kick them. That ban button's your best friend. End of discussion. Speaking of, make sure to let me know if I cross over into parasocial. I've been told cross boundaries like that without noticing. Noted. And Lamp, there hasn't been a time where you've deliberately gotten to the point where it's just like, you know, okay, let me rephrase that. There has been one occasion where I was almost about to say, cut that out, do that again, you're banned. And by the way, I would prefer you still didn't do this, but when I was saying I was doing yard work in the Discord when you were asking for pics, that kind of got close. And as a matter of fact, I would say it's close enough to, yeah, you did violate actually a boundary. But you haven't done it since, so just don't do it again. That's all I'm going to say. There is going to be very minimal occasions where I flush post, but I don't like people thirsting after me, really. God, it won't happen again. Glad we have that understanding. And also, I know you're more for unhinged humor, but just think twice before you make unhinged jokes in my chat. That's all. And other than that, you haven't caused too many issues. Ultimately, though, if I genuinely felt, is asking for cat pics okay? Just asking for pics in general, I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that. So I would hold off. I understand there's nothing malicious about wanting, pictures of pets, because yeah, who doesn't want to see people's cute animals? That being said, I don't like being asked for pictures in any context. I guess I could talk about this now. So let's talk about a topic here. Because this is something that I have discussed a couple of times. It's not exactly unknown that for a while before I had the chance to, or any opportunity, this was catalyzed by a 2-month period of literally nobody even giving me an interview. But I, for that 2-month period, was joking about starting a blue Twitch. Now, as those 2 months went further and further, and I got closer and closer to hard financial deadlines, to the point where it was genuinely questionable if I was going to be able to stay in my apartment eviction. Eviction was on the table. It became less and less of a joke, and it was to the point where an account was made, and I was planning on how I was going to announce it. But then, after some more consideration, I realized that I am not cut out for this sort of content. I am not an 18+ streamer, I am not a lewd tuber. I'm not. I can joke about these sus things. I can be a freak in my own private time, but I cannot be a lewd tuber. So the blue Twitch account's not happening. It's never going to happen. As for how serious I am about this, I'm not even going to joke about starting a blue Twitch anymore. I'm not cut out for it. And that is, if you follow me on Twitter, you'll know I posted saying that something happened to where I'm more motivated than ever to do this my own way. And that reasoning was me deciding I'm not doing this. But it was a genuine consideration. It was a genuine consideration, and it was potentially going to happen. But thankfully, everything fell into place. Everything fell into place to where I have a job lined up, and it's decent enough to get me by for now. And it should hopefully be a lot less stressful than the last job. So that way I can much more easily produce content and try and grind this all out. So just expect that. It's just I wanted you guys to understand that happened. And yeah. Shh, don't say that stuff out loud. Say what out loud? What did I say? What did I say? You got to understand that once I finish a sentence, I tend to move right on. The Mal de Ojo on you. Mal de Ojo? Oh. I see. Don't talk about positive things happening or coming. Ah, that's true. Right. Don't ever talk about that. Yeah, no, I understand. I understand. But anyways, circumstances changed. That's not happening, and I don't think it's ever gonna happen. So yeah. Just know I've got a lot more motivation now. We had a little bit of a stint of brainworms because Nan did something really fucking stupid that I genuinely should have just known better and not done. But yeah. That knocked me out of commission for a little bit, but my motivation's back. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna make this work. Even if I have to drink like 2 things of Gamer Supps back to fucking back. We're gonna do this. I'm not giving up on this dream. I'm not gonna sell this for small desires and just lose the race to rats. And get caught in a ticking trap. And I'm gonna start to dream of places to relax my restless flight. If any of you got that, not only do you have my respect, but you're also really old. I love Rush. One of my favorite bands of all time. But yeah, I don't really talk about positive things. Well, no. I don't know. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Hard to focus. Yeah, no, I get that. I get that. You're speaking to like an ADHD goblin. Of course things are hard to focus. Anyways, love Kijin Church. Yeah, there's a lot of things I want to do and get caught up on. We're still working on them in the background. They're just well, actually, I'm going to be honest. I hardly have anything content-wise in the pipeline. The last thing I had for content ideas was the real stream. We did that yesterday. And today was going to be me doing troll picks in low elo ranked league games. But because of the riot stuff, I decided to just I 86'd that pretty quickly. Satisfactory is one of those games where it's like I have fun streaming it, but the thing is that is more of a game for me to just chill with. And I don't want to sacrifice my chill time games for content because ultimately that will bring you so much burnout so quickly, and I'm not down to do that. As for new games down the pipeline, we are gonna be hopefully receiving a better income, so it's gonna be more than possible to have some newer games in the pipeline, so that's not gonna be too much of an issue. As for the randomizer, we will be continuing that at a later date. I don't know when, though. But we are going to try and complete it. Actually, let me write something down here. Because because I actually do in fact have a emulator for the 3DS. So we could start playing some 3DS titles, and there's one obscure 3DS title that I've been meaning to play for, I want to say, a while now on stream. I just need to download it. So what we'll probably do is we'll finish the randomizer, and I think the next game on the pipeline, instead of doing Super Mystery Dungeon, we're gonna let our playthrough of Explorers of Sky sit for a bit. But we're gonna move on to a little obscure JRPG. And those are the best games. Those are always the best games, don't get me wrong. And we're gonna complete that. And I guess we're just gonna kind of take a back burner on PC games for right now, because I haven't really been enjoying PC games recently that much. I haven't really. I don't know if that's just like because I'm kind of just burnt out of everything. It probably is just a little bit of that because, well, I've been basically unemployed for over the past year, so I'm probably burnt out on a lot of things, to be honest. It's just, well, it's all I had to do for like the longest time. But we're gonna do that. I think we're gonna try and do like a reacting to Reels stream. Let me make sure I note that down. We're gonna probably try and do that like on a week-to-week basis. And I apologize for the biblically accurate VTuber moment as I'm writing stuff down. That way I have like plenty of content as a backlog from the Reels, because that's kind of low effort. And a lot of content creators will just turn that into like a long form video for stream. I need to remember to download that VOD from yesterday, and try and turn that into a video. Because while I'm good on short form content, I do need long form content to kind of bridge the gap a little bit better. Because while shorts are a really great way to grab people's attention to your branded content, they're not a good way to retain them. So unless you give them some long form content, they're not gonna be ready to make the bridge from, say, YouTube all the way over to Twitch. And that's the other reason why I multi-stream onto YouTube as well, and why I publish most of my VODs. It is because that way, one, if you miss one of my streams, you can still always watch the VOD, and two, that way, you know, I put in all of my YouTube streams, come to Twitch for chat, because I can't really pay attention to both YouTube chat and Twitch chat at the same time. I know there are extensions for that, but considering how, even though Dan Clancy has stated that we're not going to punish people for, you know, combining chats, I don't trust Twitch. I don't trust Twitch to enforce that, to enforce that properly. I just don't. So that's why we don't combine chats. That's why we haven't combined the chats for YouTube and Twitch, and that's why I think it's going to stay that way. But I multi-stream for that reason. Now, as for multi-streaming on Twitter, I no longer have Twitter Blue, so I cannot do that. But as soon as I can afford to have it again, we're going to start multi-streaming on Twitter there too. That way, just in case, like, it's the only way I can properly give you guys go live notifications in real time without the algorithm just burying it. So there's that. There's that. That's going to be in the pipeline later. But yeah, oh, also ads started and I didn't even notice. I do apologize. What the heck? I set stream elements to have the timer go every hour. I don't know why that keeps happening. That is very annoying. I'm gonna have to, that's another thing I'm gonna have to fix. Put that on the header here. It's not a... It's not a content idea, so I want to keep it separate from that, but I need to fix that at the earliest fucking convenience. Because that's going to cause me issues, and it's going to drive me and my audience crazy. Need to fix that. But yeah, as for gaming streams, I think we're going to focus more on, like, DS and 3DS titles for a while. You know, gonna start doing that. As for other regular streams, I don't want to start doing too much React content because, let's be honest, that starts getting into slop tuber sort of things. I'm not a slop tuber. I'm not. There are only the only time we're going to be doing React content is for things like what Gamers Nexus is doing, where they're talking about how the death of personal computing. That is something that that's something you should be spreading the word on. That is something that you as a content creator, if you have a platform, yeah, that's definitely something I would say, not to get all preachy about it, but I would say it's definitely worth doing, because then at least more people are going to know what's going on and what kind of bad times we're headed for if this doesn't get prevented. I need to go turn down my air conditioning. It's getting really warm in my room. Hang on, I gotta hit a quick BRB. Setting up a church for pizza? Just don't try and out Pizza the Hut. Don't try and out Pizza the Hut. Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of things to talk about, but React content, that's something I want to avoid doing because it's too low effort, and honestly, it's a little too lucrative. Now, I know what you're thinking. Non, why would you be complaining about things being lucrative? Because ultimately, I don't want to start just putting effort into streaming, for the purposes of gaining profit. Because ultimately, that's just going to drive people crazy, and it's going to drive me crazy. I think it'll be pretty cheesy, since there's much room for improvement. That was pretty good, Lamp. That was actually pretty good. Pretty good. I'm stealing that, by the way, but that was pretty good. Really good. But yeah, that's gonna be in the that's gonna be in the pipeline. Talking about AI killing personal compute. Then where was I? Oh. Chat, let me know if you'd like to see me do some Pokemon Nuzlocks. I'm thinking about it. It seems like everybody's going through a Pokemon phase again, but I don't know if I want to do a Nuzlocke or not. It's been a while since I've done one, and I haven't had that much interest in doing it, but I might do one if there's enough demand for it. So I'm not writing that down, just I'll probably post somewhere as if it gets to more of a maybe, Pokemon fan game Nuzlocke. I'll think about that. That's one thing. I don't know if I want to play through the original games. Fan games are a different story. I don't know. Like I said, a lot of my love for Pokemon went out the window after Sword and Shield. And I'm still recovering some of that love and enjoyment. Like Pokemon Uranium, I might try and find that. I don't want to go looking too much, though, because I just... that seems like a pain in the rear. I have a sneaking suspicion. I have a sneaking suspicion that most places that you can find Pokemon Uranium these days are relatively untrustworthy. Not entirely sure I want to risk that. You know. We might start streaming Nikkei. That's a fun little gacha game to play. And by fun, I mean down bad. And you could try Pokemon Reborn. Think about it. Like I said, nothing isn't... It's one I'm playing right now. Not gonna lie, it's hard. Noted. I'll keep that in mind. But keep in mind, it's not going in the content pipeline right now. It's going to be just a on the back burner idea. If it comes up again and I feel inspired, I'll try and remember what you just said. But if I don't, I'm probably gonna ask again. As for gacha games, because you need to have some gacha game slop at some point, it's probably gonna be Nikkei. Solely just because it's gonna be probably one of the games that I'd feel at the very least, because like when you're streaming a game, you have to at the very least touch the fan base. That is the one game where I feel relatively comfortable doing so, because 90% of the fan base are just a bunch of chill gooners. Honestly, I fall into that category. Plus, it'll filter out people who just are going to be annoying in the future. That's all I'm going to say. It's a good filter game. We'll probably play that at some point. I'm not going to start a fresh account, I don't think. But, because get it, fan service game. Anyways, it'll be fun. We'll probably touch that later. Never ask me to play Star Rail on stream. I love Star Rail. Never ask me to play it on stream. I never will. If anybody asks me to play on stream, immediate ban. Okay, probably not immediate ban, but like they're gonna get judged kind of harshly. I do not want to touch that game at all on stream. Just the fan base alone is just so nasty. Anyways. Now chat, not gonna talk about collabs. I don't think we're gonna be doing collabs this year. What game? Nikkei, it's Goddess of Victory, Nikkei. It's that, that like gacha game with like the extreme jiggle physics? It's that game. That doesn't narrow it down at all. Let me rephrase that. It is basically what it is like, it's like one of those like classic arcade shooters. You go to an arcade and like you with the guns and all that. It's basically that, but a lot of fan service and a storyline that is basically it like wears its inspiration for Nier Automata on its fucking sleeve. So I want you to understand that seeps into everything, including the emotional gut punches from the writing. Yep, never heard of it. Even more reason for me to play it on stream. But I digress. As for collabs, going forward, I will not be setting up anything because if I am in a collab, it's because I was invited. And even then, I am not going to say if I'm going to be in collabs with anybody anymore. Long story, not ready to get into it, but the collabs, I will be trying to cut. I will be avoiding scheduling anything or outright asking people or reaching out. I'm done reaching out for that sort of thing. Like I said, long story, not going to get into it, but I will not be reaching out for collabs going forward. So don't expect them from me. That's all I'm going to say. Don't even talk about it. So we're going to cut back on those. We're also, at some point, we're going to try and do some form of community games at some point. Further down the pipeline. I need to figure out how we're going to set that up. But community events are something that I want to look into. Because I feel like I just use my Discord for stream announcements. And I do want to eventually change that. Eventually. And I want to start hanging out there more. Maybe it's something as simple as community movie nights. But I digress. That is for later discussion. So that is something I'm going to figure out soon. But as for games we're going to be playing, that pretty much wraps it up for what I have in mind for this week and subsequently, this upcoming week and subsequently the rest of the next month. Streams might change in frequency dependent on how many hours they are willing to give me, because I'm going to be grinding hard for something that I can't talk about, but it's going to require some financial investment on my own end, and I don't even know if I'm going to be able to do it. Likelihood, probably not, but I'm going to try. So dependent on whether or not they're willing to give me overtime on occasion, stream schedules might change. I mean, obviously it's going to change, but again, I don't know how drastically they're going to change. We're going to find out soon. Well, I'll find out Monday or Tuesday. The first week's probably going to be rough, so don't expect any sort of coherent schedule next week. It very much might just be for a little while. It's just like whenever I can and whenever I do feel like streaming for a while. So expect that changing, and that is going to probably be the law of the land for a while. What else? What else do I want to talk about? There isn't too much else to say, I don't think, content-wise. Obviously, things are going to change because of the new job. Which, again, given. And I'm losing my train of thought here. I am thinking now I remember, I am actually thinking about trying to do some form of karaoke stream. I don't know what we're going to do, or sorry, if and when that's going to happen, because I am still very insecure about my own voice. That being said, I spent time with Miori and getting that set up, and I want to start taking advantage of it because genuinely, she is genuinely very, very talented when it comes to this sort of stuff and setting up the my microphone settings. To the point where I highly recommend her if you're setting up your audio setup. I don't know if she's still doing commissions, but if she is, or whenever they're open, do yourself a favor. Reach out to her. She does amazing work. Enough said. So, you know. I'm just scrolling right now until my next coherent thought comes around. Excuse me. Oh, I missed your stream. Do you just hate it when you accidentally miss like a friend's stream? I do. I do, because I feel bad because I'm not supporting them. Sorry, some gamer subs just went down the fucking wrong way. I'm dying. Help. Help, chat. Chat, I'm dying. Please stop beatboxing. Ugh. Oh, chat. If I can get it set up, would you guys be interested in VR chat content? Because I know it's possible for me to convert my 3D model to VR chat. The thing is, though, and here's the thing, I'm pretty sure this is my one caveat. It won't be with other people. It won't be with other people. It will just be myself going into private instances of worlds, because I simply do not trust not getting cloned, because I don't want my avatar ever cloned. Not really a VR chat fan personally. Got it. Not happening then. It'd be useful if I just wanted to do like a full 3D environment stream, and that's probably the only reason I would ever use it. But then again, there's Warudo for that, and well, I can always do Warudo, but that's a different thing. So we'll then we'll put it on the back burner for now. But yeah, 3D, full 3D. That's something I want to do at some point. Probably won't be anytime soon. But anyhow, that's the that was just an idea I was throwing out there. What else could other content ideas are coming to mind? You know, I don't know. Talking about content ideas on stream is fun and all, but sometimes you just kind of start thinking about what you want to do exclusively, and you stop kind of just chatting and yapping. And I got a bad habit of doing that. Just like, I should be just focused on yapping instead of just, well, talking about various different topics. Or sorry, getting too focused on one topic. Like, I struggle with yapping sometimes. Believe it or not. And that's just how I am sometimes. That's how my fucking ADHD debuffs me. It can be frustrating sometimes. It genuinely can be. It is a genuine frustration for me. I've talked about my struggles with ADHD before, and honestly, I don't know how I functioned for 18 years without my meds. I'm glad I didn't take my meds until I was an adult. I'm genuinely glad I didn't, because, you know, taking them as close to being developed as possible, like fully developed as possible, was always going to be my own personal preference, because I know of way too many people who have been on ADHD meds for most of their lives and how much it's negatively affected them throughout their development stages. There's not much studies on that, and geez, I wonder why. So that's why my parents and subsequently me also agreed to wait until I was way older to start taking ADHD meds. And I'm glad I did, but at the same time, I probably should have not have waited so long, to be honest, because there's a lot to it. But yeah, I had some really negative experiences without it, and thankfully, because of me finally being on some form of medication like this, it is genuinely so much better. It has made my life so much easier and less of a hassle. That being said, just be very careful when you get on medication for anything these days, because it's just, I hate to say it, but these big pharmaceutical companies would find ways to legally poison you if it meant they can make more money. So be careful when you get on meds, chat. But yeah, that's just my own humble opinion. Anyways, you know. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud right now. But yeah. I seriously just lost my train of thought. Wow. I don't know. But chat, we're just expect we're gonna do more streams soon, or more different variety of streams. Hell, we might even do the karaoke stream tomorrow, to be honest, because I'm kind of wouldn't mind doing that. Might be earlier too, just so I have as much energy as possible for it. I just don't want, like, because tomorrow, after tomorrow, it might be a bit weird for a while, and I might not stream as much as I would like to. So I want to send things off with a bang. It sounds like I'm dying, I know, but I'm not. I mean, at least I shouldn't be dying. How's my phone? I've had my phone on the charger this entire time, and it's still almost dead. Sorry, I apologize for the biblically accurate VTuber moment. I really just do not like USB-C. I really do not. Take care of yourself first. But what if I want to just not take care of myself? What if I, and hear me out, wish to just become worse? What if I simply become worse? What then? What are you gonna do then? What are you gonna do then, huh? Huh? What are you gonna do about it? What are you gonna do about it? Besides, it'll be fine. This is one of the things that I truly enjoy. This is one of the few things that hasn't become stale for me. This is the one thing that I enjoy. There's a reason I've been doing this for 5+ years without getting tired of the lack of progress, because I genuinely enjoy hitting the go live button. So if anything, this sort of thing just, it grounds me. It helps me feel a little bit more in touch with myself. So that's why I love it so much, and that's why I don't think I'd change it for the world, to be honest. Wouldn't change this journey for the world. If I were to choose who I wanted to be, I'd choose to be the Mpreg Orange Cat every single fucking time. Because I've gotten to meet some amazing people in the course of this journey. And wouldn't fucking change it for the world. Wouldn't fucking change it for the world. Anywho's, enough wholesomeness. Something, y'all are bitches, and I'm going to step on... Yeah, I'm not going to step on you. You'd be into that. Yeah, you'd be into that. Okay, listen. Listen, alright, let's talk about some freaky shit here. Alright? The only reason people want to be stepped on, realistically, is because they already feel like they are, like, the dirt beneath something. Like, people feel like they're dirt a lot, right? And they just... They have this, like, masochistic desire to have that reaffirmed to them, and not the inner voices in their head for some reason. Squash us? No, I'm not gonna squash you guys. I'm not. Because if I squash you guys, then I gotta squash everybody. And besides, I'm not tall enough to squash anybody. I'm like 5'3". I'm very much short king maxing, thank you very much. I am the short king. The short witch king of Mpreg, better yet. Hang on. I gotta do something real quickly here. Okay, that's done. Had to tweet something. Man, Destiny 2 is just ending, and it's very, very sad. Very, very sad. I hope we get a Destiny 3. I really do. I'm probably not going to play it, obviously, but, like, man, I'm going to miss Destiny. I'm going to miss it. Let's see. Anyways, don't be sad because it's over. Be glad it happened. Something like that. I wish I had the capacity to be funny right now. I don't know what's going on today. I'm not as funny today for some reason. I don't feel like my funny bone is all that here. It hasn't been tickled properly. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm having to relearn being absolutely unhinged again. Because, like, for the past couple of days, I've been kind of reserved, to be honest. I haven't, I don't think I've once talked about how badly I want a goth woman to sit on my face. Well, I did just now. I did just now. Don't get me wrong. I mean, like, come on. Come on, like, you know. It is what it is. I don't know, chat. Some days I just, okay, I'm gonna admit something here. Very rarely do I thirst, but recently, I don't know what's been going on, but I am more down atrocious than I have been in a long, long, long time. I don't know what the fuck is happening, chat, but I don't know what's been going on, but I have been down fucking horrendous for like the past month and a half, and it kind of scares me. Magnus! BRB. BRB. I'm sorry, guys. My cat has developed the habit of chewing on the carpet. And I don't need him doing that because I don't need him doing that because if he ends up swallowing anything or anything, I'm going to have to drag his ass to the vet, and I don't have the money for that. Anywho's. But yeah, I've been kind of down horrendous recently. It's been rough. It's been rough, and like I'm wondering if that's like some sort of like, I don't know, biological clock or some bullshit. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. But like genuinely it's been rough. But what do I know? Something, generals gathered in their masses. I like goths with fat asses. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I like what I like. Oh, yeah, that new Warhammer character RPG is coming out soon. Dark Heresy. I am not interested. I'm so done with games right now. Like, new game releases. I haven't been excited for a new game release in, like, years. Closest I've been excited for is, like, the new Stories game. But my excitement went out the window when I found out that for the third game in a row, we're still not getting Gore Magala. Or Shigaru Magala. Or any Magala, for that matter. It's been 3 fucking games, Capcom. Like, bro, it's like one of the most popular monsters. Why the fuck is it not? Why the fuck aren't they playing? Why the fuck can't you get them? Tired of this. Tired of it. It's upsetting. Anyways, I don't know. Magnus! Get out. Ow. Ow. Tomorrow I need to go out and get like some like lemon juice or something and just spray the area, or just put it around the area and just or something. I don't know. I need to keep him away from that spot somehow, because he's just he'll end up swallowing those carpet fibers, choking on them, or worse. I don't know what the fuck's in those fibers. If they poison him, it's a rush to the vet, and if he does it over the weekend, he's fucked. Anyways, it's rough. It's rough. I love him, but man, he's been a handful recently, and I've got a lot on my mind right now, so it doesn't help. But that is my problem to deal with, not chat's, and I'm getting a little overstimulated from the music. I'm just gonna turn that off for now. Yeah, these just chatting streams rarely go over the 2-hour mark, and even rarer do they go over the 1-hour mark, so I gotta be conscious of that. Because I can only yap for so long about disjoint topics for so long before I just start to break down. How is it still warm in my room? I turned on my AC. This apartment's held together by spit and glue. Be right back. It's a stupid BRB screen. Ay. This whole apartment is just held together by spit and glue. It's from like the 80s, and it's somewhere between the 80s and 90s, but it is kind of held together like spit and glue. It's still better than my college apartments, though. I'll say that much. And now he's screaming at the door because I kicked him out, and I'm gonna have to deal with that. I think we're gonna have to end stream now because I'm not dealing with his bullshit right now. I'm not gonna deal with him screaming for the rest of the day. We're gonna end stream off on a semi-annoyed note. We're gonna read out today. I don't think we are. Okay, we're not going to. Yeah. So I'm gonna make sure to remember all these content notes I made throughout stream, and I'm also gonna add to them whenever I can. And hopefully I'll have a backlog of ideas to draw from going forward. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're either gonna do the karaoke stream or something else. I will let you know in advance, of course. So if you haven't already, please go check out the Discord. I try to be a little bit more punctual about my announcements there. But if not, always check my Twitter, and, you know, that's also an option if you want to see me tweet unhinged funny things on a regular basis. I do that there too. But with that, thank you guys for coming on down to watch. I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go. See you guys. Bye.